Michael DeSanta sat in the familiar leather chair, his eyes scanning the room as he waited for Dr. Isaiah Friedlander to enter. It had been months since their last therapy session, and much had changed in Michael's life since then. He had just completed the Death Wish mission, the final chapter in his tumultuous journey alongside Franklin and Trevor. Against all odds, all three of them had survived. As the door swung open, revealing Dr. Friedlander, Michael couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. He had come a long way since their first session, and now he had the chance to share his newfound redemption with his therapist. "Michael, it's good to see you," Dr. Friedlander greeted him warmly, taking a seat across from him. "How have things been since our last session?" Michael took a deep breath, a small smile playing on his lips. "Things are better, Doc. The corrupt Fib agents who wanted me dead are no more. I finally redeemed myself in the eyes of my family. Our relationship has improved drastically." Dr. Friedlander nodded, genuinely pleased to hear the progress Michael had made. "That's wonderful to hear, Michael. Have any other problems arisen since our last session?" Michael paused for a moment, reflecting on his recent experiences. "I've changed, Doc. I've become a more truthful person. I've learned from my mistakes and have been working on bettering myself. Life has a more optimistic outlook, even if it's still a bit of a mess." Dr. Friedlander leaned forward, his eyes filled with curiosity. "That's great progress, Michael. But have you encountered any new challenges or setbacks?" Michael hesitated, unsure of how to express his concerns. "I've made progress in some areas, but not in others. There are still aspects of my life that need improvement." Dr. Friedlander reached into his pocket and pulled out a small camera. "Michael, I want to commemorate this moment. Let's take a selfie together." Confused, Michael obliged, leaning in as Dr. Friedlander snapped the photo. But as the therapist put the camera away, a mischievous smile crept onto his face. "I have something to tell you, Michael," Dr. Friedlander began, his voice taking on a different tone. "I'm leaving Los Santos. In fact, I've landed my own TV show, all about you, Michael DeSanta." Michael's eyes widened in shock and betrayal. "What? You can't do that. You're my therapist." Dr. Friedlander chuckled, his true nature finally revealed. "Oh, don't worry, Michael. I won't reveal your real name or any other patient's names on the show. But I will be using our sessions as material. It's a great opportunity for me." Michael felt a surge of anger and humiliation wash over him. Dr. Friedlander had broken the sacred trust of doctor-patient confidentiality, using their private sessions for his own gain without even informing him. As Dr. Friedlander made his way towards the door, Michael knew he had a choice to make. He could chase after the therapist, demand answers, and seek revenge. But he had come too far to let himself be dragged back into the darkness. Instead, he watched as Dr. Friedlander entered his car and attempted to escape Los Santos. Michael knew it was better to let him go. He had gained newfound redemption and didn't want to revert to being a sociopathic maniac like his friend Trevor Phillips. Determined to move forward, Michael picked up his phone and dialed Amanda, his wife. He explained the situation, and to his surprise, she understood. She hoped that he would find a new therapist soon, someone who would respect his privacy and help him continue on his path of change. With a heavy heart, Michael ended the call and turned his attention back to the room. Dr. Friedlander had left him an email, urging him to forget what had happened and move forward. But Michael couldn't let go of the betrayal so easily. "I'll tear him apart if I ever see him again," Michael muttered under his breath, a fire burning in his eyes. He knew he had to protect himself and ensure that no one else would suffer the same fate. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose, Michael DeSanta walked out of the therapy room, leaving behind the broken trust in the man who had betrayed him. He was no longer the cold-blooded criminal, the maniac, or the murderer he once was. He was a changed man, determined to live a truthful life, no matter the cost.